Hey there, Beth again with WSPA Educational Council. Today we're looking at part 2 of quick ways to improve your tenor core. Let's have a look at this piece of music. Going through it together, the first thing you're going to see is a triplet on the and of beat 2 of the first measure. That goes into a single on the first beat of the second measure. So 1 and 2 and 1. 1 and 2 and 1. Now, as you hit that beat 1 of the second measure, your left hand is going to come up and start a backspin. So our band uses the letter L to denote a left backspin and the letter R to denote a right backspin. So looking at the first two measures, 1 and 2 and 1, 2. Then on measure 3, you come down, hit a note, and then on beat 2 is a forward 8. As a reminder, this is inside forward. It starts inside forward and then outside forward, and that together makes the forward. We call it a forward 8. It is a figure 8, but this is specifically starting forward. So if you want to see this at 74 beats per minute, it looks like this. Now that you understand how this line goes, let's have a look at it in more detail so we can maybe level it up a little bit. The first concept I want to talk about is going up and coming down at the same time. Let's use the forward 8 as an example. Look again at the music. The way it is written, we know that the forward 8 starts on beat 2, but it's unclear when you raise your arms in preparation or when you come back down again. This leaves a lot up to the interpretation of the individual. Now look at this notation. This one breaks the countdown into eighth notes and clearly shows when to have the arms up and down using arrows. Some people may have an issue with all the rests, so you can try a happy medium like this one. You may be wondering about the up arrows after the forward 8. We do this to really give the audience an anchor point visually at the end of the flourish. So our speeds might differ in the performance of the forward 8. Some people go fast in the front and then kind of slow in the back. Some people are nice and even. It doesn't matter. What we want to do is start at the same time here where the audience takes a snapshot visually, and then you get your forward 8, and then we end in the same place visually, and then come down together. You can do this with other flourishes as well. Up, forward 8, windmill, down. Even if we're doing cartwheels, we'll sometimes come up. Oh, that was bad, and come down. Along these lines, techniques in which the arms pass each other will look better if there's a consistent place where the arms meet and the flourish occurs. Out from the shoulders is one area for this. Above the head is another. Here are some examples. If you can define the count in the music where your arms meet and exactly where they do meet, whether it's shoulders or above the head, your audience will appreciate the clear visual picture. The next concept of improvement is sticking your flourishes versus floating them. Floating refers to a technique that casually drifts into place. Sticking, on the other hand, means to get quickly to an endpoint. This ties in with our previous video. You've already defined where you're going to plant your flourish. Now your job is to get there as fast as possible. Looking at our 4 measures from before, minus the initial triplet, watch the speed at which the arms are going up and down. Now, this doesn't mean that you can't ever float your flourishes. Sometimes the music calls for a nice rising split the feather or a gentle arcing of your arms up or down. The point is, don't be aimless in your movement. If the majority of your moves are quick and crisp, it'll add additional impact to the slower moves, and the audience will certainly appreciate the variation. And so will the judges. Maybe. The fourth point of improvement is to make sure everybody's spin angles are the same. Backspins to flats are a continuum, so there can be a lot of individual variation. When you want to do backspins, do backspins. When you do flats, but make sure you can tell the difference between the two. You can launch them differently for different effect. Backspins tend to come straight off the drum, while flats are started with a sweep of the arm to the side. Number 5. Increase your spin speed by increasing your arm muscle strength and stamina. My teacher had me start with a song that I liked that wasn't too fast, and I had to do spins on the beat for a full minute. When this became comfortable, I had to pick a faster song. Here's a drill you can do with the same idea. Start slower and gradually increase your speed. I'm showing 2 variations here. In the first, each spin is repeated 4 times. Back spins, flats, inside forwards, like single-handed cartwheels, and single-hand forward 8s. The second is just the first 3 spins, but each is repeated 8 times. Now, going back to our original 4 measures that we learned, do you remember that triplet that we've been ignoring for the majority of this video? That brings me to my last point of improvement, which is to take drum lessons. Now, I sound like I'm joking, but I'm really not. This is first and foremost a drum, and it is a drum competition that you're participating in. So I can only remember one time that a judge even commented on flourishes, ever. And this is grade 4, 3, and 2. One time. So learning how to drum appropriately is going to really help your core. So ask your drum sergeant to give you some basic lessons. It doesn't have to be difficult, but they can really help you out. Now my next video is going to be drumming for tenor drummers, but this does not take the place of good individual instruction. Thank you for watching.